potting soil that was in the middle of the floor. I didn't move it right away because the whole place is empty, but I wasn't thinking. I didn't think I would trip over it, and not yesterday, but the night before, I shut the light off in here, but I had the hall light on. I thought I could see fine, but I'm frazzled, and I came so close to tripping over that, and all I was thinking, my God, if I get hurt in here, poor Omar, and I'd have to scream for the people who hate me for help from the people who hate me next door. God damn it. There's a garbage can I bought. This is the kitchen. That's the cabinets where I had all my organic food, and he had his food on that side. There's the dog's thing. The big dog ate his food off of that little thing. They shared that big bowl of water. Here's the stove. Refrigerator. And stuff in the refrigerator. I didn't even make those veggies for Omar. If I hadn't had to carry, I had to carry stuff for them that fed me. That's all my stuff. He only has a few things. This window right here, he had it open all the time, the shades. I didn't even think to close them, but I should have, because they go out and smoke on their porch right there, or just go out on the porch and they can see in. I can see them, Here's the living room. Those windows don't open. I found that out. And the reason I found that out is because I told you, the landlord bitched to my roommate, and he was legitimate the first time, but even then Joe's doesn't care. Joe's like, you have a right to turn the goddamn thermostat on regardless. You don't have to try to finagle it so if it's warmer out, because the landlord the first time when he called over here because the thermostat turned on, apparently. My roommate told me this is before the shit went down, and he's like, you have the thermostat on, but it's 70 degrees out. Sometimes the thermostat kicked on briefly. He's like, sometimes it's colder in the house than outside. Okay, so when my roommate first told me that, I'm like, all right, well, that's legitimate, whatever, He's legitimate in that. Open up the windows and heat up the house instead of turning the thermostat on. But the next time it happened, that his wife did it. It was 58 degrees in this house, and my roommate stood his ground. He's like, because he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to be treated like total fucking shit. He said, look, name of the landlord's wife, it's 58. The thermostat set to 58. And later, when they met with the landlord and whatnot, and about us moving out and having the June 30th, or when he talked to him on the phone or whatnot, and when he met with him in person, he's like, no. He's like, I told her to call over there. It was 70 out. No, it wasn't. We had cold days here in Massachusetts. It was not. Even the cop agreed with me. I'm like, you remember those cold days we had? It's like, oh yeah. But come on. Even Joe said you shouldn't, even if it was hot out, you shouldn't have to open the windows. You pay $1,600 a month rent. You have a right to have it. He found out from me, you have a right to have it 68 degrees during the day and 64 at night. Well, right now it's 60 degrees in here. And of course, I'm not going to touch the thermostat. I'm not going to do anything to call my attention to myself. I'm not even playing music. I'm not doing anything. But it's sick. It is sick, I'm telling you, it was like, it's like those mafia people having control of store owners or whatnot, and they have to do whatever they say, and they have to extort them, you know. I cannot stay here. My friend wanted me to stand my ground because I found out I can. No way. No way. I'm one woman, disabled and all alone, being unlawfully forced out of what I thought was my home. And the more these types of things keep happening to me, the more you should know I'm slipping further and further down the rabbit hole. I mean, but just the fact that my former roommate would say things to me like how we could get away with it. Remember, $1,600 a month rent. And the cop's like, how do you even know he was paying $1,600? Well, it doesn't matter to me. I paid him $600. If he was, how do you know he's only paying $1,000? Mom, I don't care. You know, they were just fucking with me, trying to, like Joe said, trying to get me to snap so they could legitimately take me away, you know. Unbelievable. I have to go through this shit. Okay? Anyway, I don't know how much I slept. I forget what time I went to bed, but probably the same thing. I probably slept like 5 hours. Like I said, I'm feeling sick. But my roommate, from a friend or a brother or, I don't know, family, whatever he got some kind of electric fireplace, right? And when I was saying, you know, it's ridiculous, they're bitching, it's cold, we're having cold days, it was 58 in there and they're going to bitch, right? But he was trying to finagle it. He's like, well, why don't we just, you know, if you're cold, just turn on that thing. I said to him, like, that's going to use electricity. The heat uses less money than the fucking electricity. Those kind of fireplaces use a shitload of electricity. This is irrational. It's irrational for them to be calling over here and watching for the thermostat to turn on. And then I find out, add insult to injury. I said, oh, don't they get cold? We had cold days all in a row. Even the cop agreed with me. They have he's like, oh, they have a nice, you know, one of those stove things that makes it nice and warm in there. I'm like, oh my God, what am I living in? What is this? What did you freaking be into? Remember, all this shit went down before the dog, you know, his collie ever got vicious with Omar, okay? This was all building up in me. But I never imagined that he's going to also say, when we say, you know, when my roommate says, we're going to leave out by June 30th, he's, can you make it sooner? I can throw out whenever I want to. You're not even supposed to have a roommate. Yeah. Joe says, where's the agreement? Joe says, go to a lawyer, pay him $200 and have him subpoena that tenant at will agreement and see if it says anything about a roommate. It's not gonna. That's why the cops came and there is no lease. And I said, okay, how come? But did he show him the tenant will agreement? Probably not, because that wouldn't be in his favor. Okay. The guy had a roommate here before. I know her name. I know where she works. Her mail was coming here all the time. So I was lied to by somebody other than the landlord's lying. When I found out that roommate, that's where we're out, he said, no, she stayed here like 5 months. Landlord, she wasn't here that long. That's what he meant, but I had an attitude talking back when he came over here with his wife. Okay, this is bullshit, but I cannot stand my ground, even if I legally could. Cheryl said the same thing. She's like, why would you want to? He'll make your life miserable. I'm in this big, giant house all by myself, okay? There's outside. It's a big house. The windows don't open. I guess the side windows open. Down there are the neighbors that, they're complaining about the dog, but then he was saying that the landlord was saying a whole bunch of people complained about the dog. The landlord, he even said that, he told me the landlord was trying to get him to want to leave. I'm like, why not just be upfront? If you want us out of here, explain. I want to move my family members in here. It's getting too crowded next door. Okay? Be upfront. And give us a notice on May 30th and then on May 1st, and we would have been out by the 30th, and none of this shit would have happened. None of it would have happened to me. I wouldn't have had this falling out with my roommate. You know, had I not had this falling out with my roommate, he probably, think about it, he moved all my stuff here. He probably would have helped me. I could leave the desk behind. He would have helped me probably move my stuff somewhere else if I had to, if I couldn't find a roommate or whatnot. But no, I had to have all this shit happen to me and I didn't do anything, okay? And the day I was cleaning those leaves, it's over here. This is where my roommate, threw cigarette butts all down there, and there was hundreds of them, and I just got fed up one day and decided to clean it all myself, and there were leaves everywhere. Everywhere. That hill, the day I was cleaning up the leaves, and the people next door probably saw me, heard me. They may even complained. She's out there. She's getting upset. I wasn't getting upset, but you know what I mean. I almost fell down the hill. And she's out. They probably complained. It's all Big Brother around here. But then again, it's Big Brother where my mom is too, because my mom's afraid they're gonna tell Marion that she has Omar now. You know, and it's just sick. My roommate would throw over the porch. He'd go on the porch right there and throw tons and tons of cigarette butts. One day, as you know, a couple of weeks ago, I got fed up with it because leaves attract ticks and fleas and all this crap, and I read that on the internet. You know what I mean? So that's what I did, and I did I swept them for hours. I cleaned it all up, but I almost fell down the hill doing it. And that would have sucked, you know, trying to do a good thing, you know, something my roommate said he was going to do, but he also, I cleaned the dog's pen all the time, too. See, there's the porch. He would sit right out there, and he would smoke cigarettes and just throw the butts over the porch. And, you know, you couldn't see them in the wintertime, but he must have been doing it for months. I didn't even know he smoked. He didn't tell me he smoked. But it didn't matter because I said it was okay for anyone to smoke outside. But I said, you didn't even tell me you smoked. He's like, yeah, I smoke more. I became under stress. Yeah, he became under stress. The 22-year-old girl that he was really after. And remember, he's like around my age, okay? He was after this 22-year-old, and she turned to a woman, and she's the one who told me he was the nicest person in the world, whatever, but that doesn't mean she's interested in him romantically, but he thought she was. And then he turned to this woman who'd been his friend for a long time and has a daughter and is around his age and whatnot, but you know she showed me a picture of the other girl. She was cute. You know he wants her, so he just settled for second best. That's what he did. He settled for second best, and he can conveniently move him and his dog into her place, and she wants him there, but it's the third time for marriage, and I hope it doesn't work out, and he finds himself thrown out on the street with his dog, and all alone and scared and feeling lost and alone and having to go to knock on family members' doors because he has nowhere to go. You know? That's what I hope happens to him. He deserves it after what he did to me. He deserves it. Deserves it. He deserves it. Remember those people who stand on their porch over there and they watch me up here? I don't want them reporting to him, oh, she's filming your place or something. But, you know. Remember, people, I'm afraid of this man. Lots of shit goes on nowadays. He could have the police in his pocket. He could drum up something. You know, my friend's like, why don't you stand your ground? You found out you have a right to. Because I'm afraid. That's why. End of discussion. I'm afraid of all that crap. They were all leaves everywhere, all down there on the hill and over there. I swept them for hours. I raked them for hours. I broke the rake doing it, remember? My roommate told me, oh, my landlord's cool as hell, and he won't care. I said, I'm putting your dog out in the pen. They're going to complain. Oh, that's okay. I'm not going to worry about them. Yeah, not until he complained. And then, you know, I'm like, you know, the shit comes down on me, and I got your permission, Bobby, to do all this. You know? I just felt bad for the dog. degrees in here. It's 60 degrees in here. That pen, he put his dog out there all the time. He was talking about me putting Omar out there. He told me his ex-roommate put her little pug out there. And he's like, we'll have to fix this so you can put Omar out there. I still was finding glass the other day when I was going to take Omar in there just to see if he'll poop, because I wasn't taking him for a walk anymore, and you know him, he's fussy. Still finding glass. You're putting your dog out in a place where there's broken glass everywhere. That's sick. She put her pug out there where there's broken glass everywhere. Sick. It's sick. Sick. Unbelievable. That's the pen. I cleaned up the dog's dog shit all the time. I did that for the dog's sake, because I felt bad for him, because he would always be letting it go, you know. The dog was just second in his mind all the time, my roommate. And I cleaned it up for my roommate, too, because he did nice things for me. But I really felt bad for the dog. There was nowhere left for him to shit. And, of course, once I did it, my roommate said, I was planning on doing that. Yeah, when, Bobby? When were you planning on caring enough about your dog, okay? Look at that. Glass. He just put that dog out in the pen, and there was all broken glass, you know? But you gotta realize how the degree to which I was lied to, okay? The degree to which I was lied to. And that's open in the back too, and there's no way to cover that, so whenever I would do laundry, I'd have to just be there, and their porch was right there. The family would all go out there, you know, but there's nothing to cover the back door. It's all fucked. It's just all fucked. I showed you that pen over the street over there is where Omar and I would walk around, and although that neighborhood was nice, and unlike here, it was nice, and all the houses were all nice and mowed and whatnot, you know. Nice neighborhood around there, not this place. I told Bobby, I'm getting the fuck out of here. If your landlord comes anywhere near me, I'm going to record his every word and action with my video camera. Just have him stay the fuck away from me, okay? Please just stay the fuck away from me.